All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Ted's Ball Talk with your host Teddy Briggs. I'm joined by my brother Benny, also the producer for this.
Hello, yes, I'm here. That's one of the greatest sports podcast names of all time.
Ted's Ball Talk.
Yeah.
I know. It's mainly geared towards getting a sponsorship by Roman or Manscaped. I mean, target audience.
I think if you get 50 subscribers of any podcast, the Roman and Manscaped people will call us.
They sponsor everyone.
They do. They sponsor everybody.
Okay. Well, for this first episode, we're audio only due to some technical difficulties with the live stream, but in the next couple episodes, hopefully we'll be up and running with a live stream. So you can join us live there. We'll be on Spotify for sure. Other websites up in the air about if we'll be on there, but you can definitely listen to our podcast on Spotify. Okay. All right. So, everyone that wants to know, this is a podcast about sports. I love sports, live, breathe, eat sports. Benny likes sports and knows about them only because I talk about them all day, every day.
Exactly. Whenever we don't live together, if that ever happens, I will become so unknowledgeable in any sort of type of sports.
Yeah. Well,
So thank you for keeping me in the loop.
Of course. My pleasure. I mean, my pleasure to talk about sports all day long. That's all I want to do. All right.
Not like I have a choice to listen to it or anything.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I talk very loud, so. All right. First topic. Divisional round just happened. Coming up to championship weekend. Bills eliminated. Cowboys eliminated. Not surprised. Josh Allen, a little bit of surprise how he went out. Didn't play well at home at all. Lost by 3 scores to Joe Burrow. There's the topic conversation. Who's a better quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow? Who would you want to take to start your franchise? Let's start recapping it. Start Bengals, Bills, first game of the weekend. How'd you feel about that outcome, Benny? Did it surprise you?
No, I was listening to the Bill Burr podcast, and he's a top source of my sports knowledge. And he was watching the game
Bill Burr?
Yeah, while he was recording his podcast, and like every now and then he'd just like break into like making comments about the game, and he said that he knew that the Bills were gonna lose as soon as this guy named Skylar Thompson gave him a run for their money in the game before.
That's a good take.
And so, and that makes a lot of sense to me because you can't be losing to a backup if you're one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You can't be like, it can't be a close game if you're playing a backup quarterback and you're a top 5 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, well, it gets to that point where it's like the Bills have had no run game their entire career. His entire career. They established the run game with him. That offense lives and dies with Josh Allen, which is, it kind of brings up a conversation like Ken Dorsey, and they don't have bad running backs. Nyheim Hines and Devin Singletary and James Cook are viable running backs in the NFL. But they have no run game, so they can't run play action, which is very important for an offense. And if Josh Allen isn't going to go throw a ball 50 yards to Gabe Davis or Stephon Diggs 7 times a game, they're not going to win. And in the playoffs, it gets harder because you face better teams, and that's a really good defense that they've built there in Cincinnati. So, obviously, it's going to be an issue.
Okay, so wait, why don't they run? Don't you think they would run more?
Maybe it's an offensive line issue. They don't have an elite offensive line. Maybe it's just Sean McDermott doesn't like to run the football, but every good team can run. And it's going to be an issue when, unless you're, like, Lamar Jackson is oftentimes the leading rusher for the Ravens when he's healthy, but now they have J.K. Dobbins. And J.K. Dobbins can run the football.
They've always had J.K. Dobbins, but he's just injured all the time, it feels like.
Yeah, but at the end of the year, he played really, really well. So that can mean something. But I just the Bills aren't going to do anything until they run the football.
Yeah.
Final. That's that.
I'm trying to look. Oh, okay.
What are you pulling up right now?
So Josh Allen was sacked 33 times.
Yeah.
He's like right in the middle. So
Okay.
It's not horrible offensive line, but
yeah.
I
Who
don't
was
know.
sacked the least?
Who was sacked the least? Kyler Murray was sacked 25 times.
It's because he played like 2 games.
That's true. Let's see. Quarterback that played the longest, that got sacked the most times, was Patrick Mahomes at 26.
Okay. Where was Jared Goff on that? I'm a Lions fan, by the way, guys. I'm just curious. I really like our offensive line.
Bro, wait a second. Why isn't he on this? Am I blind? Bro, he's not here. Oh, next page.
Okay, gotcha. We're going to the next page. While he's doing
Oh,
that,
wait, whoa. Okay,
you were
wait a
looking at the
sec.
higher 25 times a lot of times. It's
Okay, wait. Jared Goff was sacked 23 times.
okay. That's what I thought. There you go.
Tom Brady was sacked 22. So I lied. Kyler Murray was not sacked the least amount of times.
Okay. Dang, he didn't even play that long this year, and he got sacked a lot. All right, let's move on to the next game, and that is Chiefs Jaguars.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes. That's gonna be a matchup I feel like we're gonna see a lot, and I mean a lot coming up
I think just the 4 quarterbacks,
in the AFC. It's gonna be every year.
it's just going to be them all the time.
Every year in the divisional round, it's gonna be those 4 teams. Do you think, like, I mean this full-heartedly, like, Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow is gonna it's gonna happen again next year, and then it's gonna become Brady versus Manning again. That is the new Brady versus Manning. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow.
They just, like, played each other all the time. Is that what happened?
It's like the two greats, yeah. The two NFC went through those 2 teams.
Okay,
I mean,
it.
AFC went through those 2 teams. I see that easily happening again, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jaguars, did you watch that game?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you heard about what happened in that game. It was
I
close.
know the Chiefs won. That's
Okay,
it.
Chiefs won.
And then Chad Henne had a 98-yard possession
Yeah,
that led
scored
to
a
a
touchdown,
touchdown.
yeah.
That's all I know about it.
Yeah, it was a good game. Patrick Mahomes ankle injury. I think that's going to play a part in the. This is a little preview to championship weekend. My thoughts. I think that's going to play a big factor. He's still a great quarterback if he's not mobile, but obviously, mobility is a big part of his game. Going out of the pocket, making crazy things happen. He's not going to have that ability. And if he gets sacked again, it could really re-aggravate that ankle. He has a high ankle sprain. Defensive guy tackled him from behind, landed on his ankle. It did not look good.
What is the likelihood that he will play the game and then at some point in the game be taken out because of the re-injury? What do you think?
Depends on what the score is.
So even like if it he re-aggravates a sprain enough for him to be taken out of the game,
He won't take himself out of the game.
you don't think so?
No. He'll somehow play it off, and I think he'll power through it.
Competitive people, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, it was an interesting game. Outcome happened that I think we all knew it was going to happen. Jaguars are good. Trevor Lawrence is really good, but they got a little bit more to smooth out. I think Doug Peterson was a great pickup for them. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better guy to come in after that whole Urban Meyer debacle. I think it was a great decision to bring him along.
Yeah, but now he doesn't. There's no fingers up the butts anymore.
That's the best thing that's
so
ever happened to
sad.
the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is not sad at all.
It was hilarious, bro.
It was hilarious, but in the worst way possible. And he also would kick his kicker. You heard about that?
No,
Kick his players while they were stretching on the ground to try and hype him up, and it just pissed them all off.
that's pretty funny.
It was horrible. He's a horrible dude.
Yeah, it does not seem like
Urban
the best
Meyer never liked him. Florida, Ohio State, NFL, didn't like him at all. When he was in the conversation to take over the Lions job, because he was hired same year as Dan Campbell, I didn't like it. I never wanted him. I thought he would ruin our team, and I'm glad he didn't come to us.
guy. Wait, so the Lions were considering him?
They interviewed him, yeah.
Okay.
So happy he did not get that job. Alrighty. Let's move on to, let's go 49ers, Cowboys next. 49ers, Cowboys, classic matchup. Lots of history. They played each other all the time back in the day. And this was played them last year, had that crazy ending where Dak Prescott decided to run it with 14 seconds left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And no timeouts. And then the ref ran into the back of him trying to spot the ball. Clock ran out. Crazy.
If only he slid 1 second sooner.
I know. If only he didn't run the ball straight up the middle with no timeouts. Then that also would have been a problem solver. All right. Well, that matchup was a good game. Really, really good defense. Fred Warner is ridiculous. He's a freak of nature.
Which one is that?
The linebacker for the 49ers.
You have,
He has the
curly
longer hair. He has the
Okay,
longer.
okay.
No, you're thinking of the safety.
But he has longer hair though.
He has longer hair. He has dreads. You're thinking of Hufanga, the guy who looks like Troy Polamalu.
You got it.
But yeah, it was a really good defensive matchup, and it was everything I expected.
You can keep talking. I'm just gonna let our dog outside.
Okay, he's gonna let our dog outside. It was a really good defensive matchup. 9-9 at halftime, I think it was. They didn't score a touchdown for a decent amount of time. Brett Maher had that extra point blocked. Yeah, the interesting thing that I start thinking in my mind is when it gets to Brock Purdy. If he wins, if he loses, he's got you the NFC Championship game now. He's got you there. If he loses or wins, either way, is he your starter next year for the San Francisco 49ers?
Do you think Trey Lance would have gotten them that far?
I don't know, but I think they're going to give Trey Lance a shot whether he wins the Super Bowl or not.
Interesting.
I don't see him being the starter at the beginning of the year next year. Because Trey Lance has more upside. When you see Brock Purdy throw that ball, he can't get it like that zip that elite quarterbacks do. It kind of feels like it's lobbing. But he's super smart with the ball. Like uber smart with the ball for how young he is. And how fresh he is in the league. And he hasn't lost yet. But I just don't see him being the starter next year. Or the long term for them. I think Brock Purdy with anyone as his coach besides Kyle Shanahan or maybe Andy Reid, a very, very mediocre quarterback.
That's interesting. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. He'll be a fun backup.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like the guy you're going to see in 10 years come in and back up a guy and then be able to win you 2 games.
He's like Geno Smith.
Yeah, absolutely.
But younger.
Better, or he's been better early on in his career than Geno Smith was. Geno Smith was never good early in his career.
Yeah, but I'm just comparing him in the sense that
He's
he was a backup, and now he's a starter.
Maybe. Tyrod Taylor, maybe. He started for a bit, so I feel like that could end up being a fair career arc comparison to those 2 players.
Maybe.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor got the Bills to the playoffs with Sean McDermott.
That's true, but they never won a quarterback. They never won a Super Bowl.
They did not win.
Or a playoff game. I don't know if
they didn't win a playoff game. They got eliminated by Saxonville, when they had Miles Jack and Jalen Ramsey and all those guys on that team. Alrighty. Eagles-Giants was a massacre. Everyone was
I watched that game.
Giants, everyone was like, oh, the Giants, they're hot. They're
Even you said that.
I did say Dable has those guys humming. But clearly Jalen Hurts and that ridiculous roster is too overpowering. I think the Giants roster isn't that good. Daniel Jones might not be the solution. The only thing they have going for them right now is they have a great coach.
Are they going to give Daniel Jones another shot?
I think they'll pick up his... I don't know if he has a 5th-year option or if he has an extension coming up, but after his play at the end of the year, he could ask for a lot of money, but I don't know if I'd give him a lot of years. Maybe I'd extend him for another year or 2 at most and feel it out because he clearly didn't show you anything in the beginning part of his career. Yeah. So, going into championship weekend, we have the matches set. It's Chiefs, Bengals, 49ers, Eagles. My prediction going into the playoffs was it was going to be a Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl again. I thought it was going to be a rematch right there.
You said that?
I said that.
When did you say that?
At the beginning of the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say at the beginning of the year. No, I wouldn't have predicted that.
Okay. At the beginning of 2023, you said that.
Yes.
But not at the beginning of the football. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think let's start AFC, Chiefs, Bengals. I don't see an injured Patrick Mahomes beating the Bengals right now. I don't see it. I think it's going to be 2 years in a row that Patrick Mahomes falls short of the Super Bowl because of Joe Shiesty and that Bengals roster.
I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Okay. Also, shout out Zach Taylor because people wanted him to be fired after his first year as a coach, even though Joe Burrow tore his ACL. Like, what do you want to do about that? But he has made 2 AFC championships in a row and won one of them. If he could win the Super Bowl this year, I think that'd be huge.
Who wanted him fired? Who was saying that?
Bengals fans.
Mm.
Probably Stephen A. Smith, too.
Mm.
He wants everyone fired.
He does. Except for him.
Except for him. Yeah. All right. 49ers, Eagles, NFC Championship game. Where do you see this one going, Ben?
I think the Eagles are going to win.
Eagles are going to win, Jalen Hurts.
Because it's even though it's cold in San Francisco, it's not as cold as it is in Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be an advantage.
I don't know. I just think coldness, weather definitely takes a factor
100%.
in football.
Brock Purdy did play at Iowa State though. It gets chilly out there.
That is true. It gets very cold in Iowa. Interesting. Nah, I still got the Eagles.
Yeah, I see Jalen Hurts winning that game for sure. That defense is ridiculous.
Both the defense are
It's
really
going to be a really good defensive matchup, I think.
It'll probably be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, I can see it being feeling like it's a low-scoring game, but somehow ending up 31-27 or something like that.
How are the Eagles against run defense? I mean, how are the Eagles against running backs? Do you know this? Do we know this?
Defensive wise?
Yeah.
I remember that their pass rush is definitely better than their run stopping.
Okay. That makes sense.
Really, I haven't watched a lot of Eagles football this year. The only experience I have watching the Eagles this year has really been the playoffs, their couple primetime games, and the Lions Week 1 matchup against them, where we ran the ball very well around the field against them.
Interesting. But then you ran the ball very well against them after that you were losing 47-3 or whatever.
Okay, you got a point there, but still. Hey, that game ended up being close, but so did they all did at the beginning of the year. What a disappointing start that was. Yeah. All right. So.
Wait. So it looks like the 49ers are definitely the team
with the best run defense.
Oh, the Eagles, they give up the least amount of yards
per carry?
Per game.
Per game.
I don't know. I'm looking at the that was passing. Never mind. I lied.
Yeah, I know their pass defense is really, really good. Okay, I'm going to move on, and then whenever you find the stat, you can interject with it, okay?
Yeah.
I think the 49ers are going to win this game just severely based off that defense is just, oh, my God. I was watching that game, and I couldn't believe. Watching Fred Warner cover CeeDee Lamb over the middle was crazy to see a linebacker go step for step with a receiver like that.
I watched that. I saw that.
That was a crazy play, wasn't it? It was unbelievable. He's so fast.
Yeah, he ran from one side of the line of scrimmage to the other side.
He was on the line of scrimmage, on the opposite side of CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
And ran back to cover him and was step for step with him. He was in his face. It was unbelievable. It was very, very impressive. Alrighty.
I have the numbers.
Okay, what are the numbers given to me?
The Titans gave up the least amount of rush yards this year.
Okay.
At 1,307. I know that doesn't matter, but I just think that's interesting. And then the Niners were second. And then, let's see. The Eagles were...
So they're middle of the pack,
15th.
Okay, so
they gave up 2,600. No, they gave up 2,068 yards.
You know what? 15th. That's top half of the NFL. You take that all day long. That's very good.
But what do you think about Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell matching up against that?
I think Christian McCaffrey matching up against any defense is a nightmare because he doesn't just beat you in the run game. He'll beat you in the pass game too. Even throwing the ball. Oh, we saw that against the Rams when he caught, ran, and passed for a touchdown. That was crazy. So, I don't know. I feel like I like the 49ers here. Give the Eagles another year until they're in the Super Bowl. Or maybe other way around. Give the 49ers another year till they're in the Super Bowl. You could say that about both teams because they're both missing pieces. But I like the odds of Shanahan outcoaching Sirianni in this game. That's just how I see it.
All right.
And DeMeco Ryans about to be an NFL head coach. He wins this game with his defense. All right, moving on. Quarterbacks, upper echelon tier. I think that I love Josh Allen. Everyone loves Josh Allen. He's super likable and really fun to watch. I think he's a little bit of a step below Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow as an NFL quarterback. It's solely because he doesn't have a run game. It's not his own fault. He has to make crazy plays because he doesn't have a run game.
According to Mark Sessler, who's an around the NFL writer for NFL.com,
I'm listening.
On January 12th, 2023, at 12:52 p.m., he released this article.
Okay.
And he has Josh Allen ranked fourth. Behind Joe Burrow.
Who's number one?
Jalen Hurts.
Patrick
Mahomes.
So he has Jalen Hurts above Joe Burrow.
Yes.
I disagree with that heavily. I'd go Joe Burrow.
I think just because Jalen Hurts is just such more of a rushing threat. Maybe that's why.
Maybe, yeah. I go Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, top tier. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert,
And
Trevor Lawrence.
the Cincinnati Bengals got off to a slow start at the beginning. That's probably why he also has him ranked lower.
Yeah, I would put Trevor Lawrence there. I
I
won't.
think
Do I put Lamar Jackson
Trevor
there
Lawrence is 6th.
on that article?
Yeah, Justin Herbert is 5th.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Trevor Lawrence showed that he deserves to be up there at the end of the year.
Justin Herbert had 0 rushing touchdowns.
I'm not surprised by that. He's not very mobile. How many Trevor Lawrence had? He can run it.
5.
5. That's pretty good. How many passing did he have? 20 something, mid 20s, high 20s.
25 passing touchdowns
Okay.
for Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Lamar Jackson, you got to see him healthy again. People forget how dominant he was that MVP year and the year after and everything. He just needs to stay healthy, which I know is hard for mobile quarterbacks because they like to extend plays and sometimes they don't like to slide, and that bites them in the ass, but we'll see.
He was just I don't know, it was a weird year for the Ravens. They were pretty good without him. I guess they weren't pretty good, but they kept winning without him.
Yeah, but they were winning the division without him, and they lost that. So, also they have Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith is like an elite leader on the defense.
Oh, okay.
And he just skyrocketed that defense when he joined it, which I think is they were averaging like 13 points a game with Tyler Huntley as their quarterback, and they were still winning games.
Yep, that's true.
That speaks to their defense.
That's true.
Um,
What do you think about Brock Purdy and Kyler Murray being ranked above Kirk Cousins?
wow. How do I feel about that? I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't like the sample size over his though, because neither Kyler or Brock played anywhere near a full season, and Kurt did. And Kurt, whether or not they were frauds, whether or not they went 11-0 in one possession games, they still won 13 games and won a division. So
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of not very fair to
Kurt.
Kirk Cousins. Justin Fields is ranked above him.
That I can agree with. But I guess as a passer, that's a good segue into a next topic. A lot of people are talking about this right now, and they haven't fully committed to him yet, which I find shocking. Trade or keep Justin Fields when you have the number 1 overall draft pick, potential to get Bryce Young, who has proven to be an elite talent. But so did Justin Fields this year. I think we've seen he can throw that ball fast and far, just not very accurate yet, and that's something that can be developed. And he can run a little bit. Sarcasm, obviously. I don't know why you would trade Justin Fields, and because he had he ran for 1,000 yards or something like that. 900 something or 1,000. He wasn't that far off the rushing record, and
He ran for 1,143 yards.
Yeah, he was not that far off the rushing record at all, and if he plays a full season, he breaks it. I don't see how after a season like that, when he wasn't even fully healthy for half the season, you move on from a quarterback. Maybe you even just trade back to 2. You tease the Texans like you're gonna take Bryce Young with that number 1 overall pick, make him trade with you, and then get Jalen Carter or Will Anderson. Personally, I love Jalen Carter. I think that dude's a game wrecker. He's a defensive tackle out of Georgia. He's huge. He has elite hands at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, he's a game wrecker. That's a guy I would want on my team, no doubt about it.
Would you say that passing in 15 games, passing for 2,242 yards, and having 60.4%, completing 60.4% of your passes, bad? Is that bad?
That's bad.
Okay,
that's pretty bad. Is that Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty bad.
What is a good passing percentage?
Like you want to be, you'd like to be near 70.
Near 70?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mid 60s to 70. 60 isn't horrible. There's certainly people with worse. But I'd like my quarterbacks to be higher. Lamar Jackson definitely has a higher completion percentage than that. And that's who I'd want Fields to pan out to be.
He passed 62%
Yeah.
completion.
Okay. So I guess it's pretty close.
He played 3 games less, passed for the exact same amount of yards. And yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I have a question for you. We're going to get a little fantasy football right here.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson or any decent quarterback goes to the New York Jets, okay?
Mhm.
You have Garrett Wilson on your team.
Mhm.
You have Amon-Ra St. Brown on your team. It's a keeper league.
Oh, okay.
You're down to one keeper left. Are you keeping Garrett Wilson or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
You would keep Amon-Ra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And that's me being as non-biased as I possibly can in my mind.
I don't know. It just seems like
Ben Johnson back for another year.
Garrett Wilson, you can like try to hope to pick him up in the first round.
You got to get a high pick for that though.
What, really? You think he's going to get picked up early?
He's a stud, Benny. Garrett Wilson's a beast.
But he was like,
He is. When a decent quarterback was playing in a game, he was more than
When did a decent quarterback play in
Mike White for 2 weeks.
Okay. But
Even with Zach Wilson, he wasn't that bad because he would go make the plays on the terrible throws that Zach Wilson would lob his way. I think he has a chance to be a top 10 wide receiver next year,
interesting.
no doubt. But I think Amon-Ra is already a top 10 wide receiver.
Well, everybody go pick him up in your fantasy leagues.
Garrett
When there's
Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure people already, whether it's a keeper league or not, he's going to be a high draft pick. I think it's him being a first 3 or 4 round draft pick in a decent sized fantasy league. Yeah. Okay.
Matt Ryan completed 67% of his passes.
That
this
is
year.
shocking because he threw so many interceptions.
I know. Threw for 13 interceptions
Wow, that's a lot.
in 12 games.
Oh, God.
Had 15 fumbles.
15 fumbles?
Yes.
13 interceptions.
Yep.
In 12 games.
Yep.
Wait. So you said 15 and 13.
Yep.
So 28 total turnovers.
Yep.
In 12 games.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's horrible.
It's interesting to see the I don't know, they never show fumbles as like as a part of quarterback stats. And I think it's interesting to look at them.
It should be because I guess yeah. Hold on to that ball if you're getting sacked. Because that's a turnover. Yeah. That's horrible. Oh my goodness.
Justin Fields had 16 fumbles.
Matt Ryan is going to be an anchor on television next year, is what I think. I don't think he's going to be on an NFL roster after hearing that stat. My goodness.
What are some intangibles of so what did people like about Justin Fields when he was about to be drafted?
They liked his speed. They liked his arm strength. I mean, they liked everything about him. It's just that was a really, really good draft class coming out of college.
Okay, and
his pro day wasn't anything special.
What's the other guy's name that they want to get maybe? That quarterback? Bryce Young, yeah. So what about Bryce Young do they like? Do they like
He's just a smarter quarterback. He's more accurate. He has a better arm. He's just a little bit undersized for a quarterback, which feels wrong to say because he's 6 feet tall and we're calling him undersized. But he's not the biggest dude in the world, which is his only downside. If he was 6'5", 6'4", whatever, he'd be as highly touted as Trevor Lawrence coming out of the draft.
Does he run similar?
Yes.
Well?
He runs well. Absolutely. I think he's more of a winner. You could win easier with Bryce Young than you could Justin Fields, I think. But after last year, you have to give Justin Fields another shot. I don't think you have a choice. I really don't think you do.
Would they just keep him on the bench or would they trade him?
They would trade him.
I don't know. Might as well just trade him if you're going to.
If you have the opportunity to get that guy, you think?
I don't know.
What would you ask for Justin Fields in a trade?
I don't know. I don't understand like goodness of trades
Okay,
for
that's valid.
in the NFL. What
Okay.
would you?
I'd probably ask for a first, but I would take a second and something else.
That makes, I don't know. For me, I guess because the only thing, like the only draft that I really know about is
NBA.
the NBA draft. Like asking for a second round pick for a really good young player
Yeah,
makes no sense to me.
It's different, and it's definitely different in the NFL.
Like I just like it sounds wrong to like ask for a second round pick. Even
Yeah.
though I'm sure there's probably really there's always really good players that come out of the draft. that
Like
get
in the
second round
NBA
picks.
draft, like you watch the first 10 picks, then you turn the draft off. People
Yeah, I
watch the
guess.
NFL draft through the 4th round
Mhm.
intensely.
Yeah.
Which is a totally different animal. Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of the same thing for the MLB draft when there's like
No one watches the MLB
Three-
draft.
but I'm saying like there's going to be good players up until like the 50th round. and
Yeah.
then-
You'll find good players anywhere. I mean, what? Hall of Famers were drafted in like pick 1,000, something like
Yeah.
that. Like Mike Piazza was like 1,200 or something.
That's crazy.
All right. Now let's move on to other quarterbacks on the exact opposite end of the spectrum of the guys that we've been talking about. We were talking about youngsters. Now we're getting old. We're getting real old right now. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Retire. Play another year. If you play another year, where do you play? Let's break it down. All right. Let's start with my least favorite man on planet Earth, Aaron Rodgers. What do you see with his body language, Benny, after that game? Because we all know we watched that game together. What do you think about if you're an NFL team? Do you want Aaron Rodgers after the year that he had? What do you think?
Is he a free agent?
You'd have to trade for him.
Oh. Then I wouldn't trade for him.
You wouldn't trade for him.
No.
Okay. Do you think he's gonna retire, or let's if he retires, cap hell. He has so much guaranteed money. It's a huge dead cap hit for the Green Bay Packers. It would totally screw them over.
But he said he isn't going to retire. He said he can win MVP
yeah,
on the Pat McAfee show.
but he didn't say that. He didn't say he's not gonna retire.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think he'll be back. I don't see him ending his career like that.
On the same team?
I think he'd prefer not to be on the same team, but something's going to happen where he's going to end up playing another year with Matt LaFleur as his coach. Because it's going to be so hard to move him. It's going to be so hard.
What do you think they need for them to be a contender in that division?
Wide receiver help. They have the young guys, but they could benefit from a veteran. I mean, I guess you have Lazard there, but
Randall Cobb.
yeah, a more disciplined defense for sure would help. Stop shoving athletic trainers would help. It was all there. They got it going at the end.
You said stop shoving athletic trainers would help.
Yeah.
That's funny. It only happened twice.
I don't care. Twice is enough. Once is more than enough. It's horrible. How could you shove an athletic trainer? Especially the second time during that week. Are you kidding me? What an idiot.
Hey, you don't know what he was going through that week. You can't be so
No, he's
quick
an
to
idiot.
judge.
What, you shove a guy trying to help an injured player? He's stupid. All right, Tom Brady. Other hand.
Is he a free agent?
I think he is. Let me double check this. Let's pull this up.
Well, in my personal opinion, he should play. He should keep playing until he wins another Super Bowl, because he ruined his family because he didn't retire last year. And I feel like if you're gonna ruin your family, you might as well you gotta get the big win, you know. If you
He is a free agent.
I don't know. I just feel like you can't be ruining the family
And
and then not win a
retiring
Super
the-
Bowl. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ruin the family. Finish under 500.
Yeah,
Get clapped by the Cowboys in the wild card round,
Yeah.
and then be like, actually, no, I'm good.
yeah,
Literally a month after you divorced your wife because you wanted to keep playing football.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's gonna. it seems like this was a pretty bad year for him.
Yeah.
Even though he was pretty good.
He's got like that. Have you seen his TV network contract that he has on deck with Fox?
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 years, like $300 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Insane. Go do that. I mean, this is why I'm starting this podcast. I want to be doing that one day. That's the dream.
But you're not going to get paid as much money.
I
as Tom
know,
Brady's
but,
gonna
like,
get paid.
Give me at some point like dream life goals. I looked up to Mike Tirico and Al Michaels. Give me their salary. Hopefully at some point in my lifetime, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I know what Mike Tirico makes $10 million a year.
Probably would be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain at all. I mean, they can pay me $1 a year. I just want to go watch football games and talk about them.
Yeah, you
That's
get free flights,
exactly.
free games,
Hotel rooms. In the off season, I'll be living on the streets, but whatever. Live in your backyard, maybe.
live with the parents.
Exactly. Live with my parents, then announcing big NFL games during the year
Hey,
for $1.
hey.
Hey, NFL, I said it. You need an announcer. I'm there. Pay me $1. I'll do it. But yeah, I don't see Tom Brady retiring. I think they'll both be back. Tom Brady in a different location. Aaron Rodgers in the same.
Okay. Where
What?
name 3 places that Tom Brady will play next year, or could play.
I say Raiders for sure, an option. 49ers, an option. He grew up in that area, so both those teams are going to be on the table. And Miami.
But didn't also Aaron Rodgers grow up in that area?
Yeah, he did. But Aaron Rodgers is
What about this?
one of them goes to Vegas, one of them goes to San Francisco.
No, they both go to San Francisco,
Okay.
and they switch off playing quarters.
That would be unbelievable.
That'd be so funny.
That would be the most annoying thing I ever watched in my entire
Because they just want to go back home.
But
They want to be close to their families on their last hurrah.
I could see Tom Brady going to Miami because that's where he wanted to go originally. He was talking about that when he ended up going to the Bucks. It's like, yeah, I guess didn't want to have to move. He already lives in Florida, closer to Miami than he does Tampa Bay.
I guess I don't know. You know that. I don't know where his residence is.
West Palm Beach.
Okay,
Where else would he live?
I don't know. Nowhere in Florida.
Yeah, true.
Okay, but think about the marketing for the Rodgers and Brady on the same team.
Yeah, but they wouldn't
the
do
Step
that.
Bro poster. The
Oh,
Step
yeah.
Bros poster.
That
is
would be
just
great.
them and them.
Hanging outside Levi Stadium,
Yeah,
Tom Brady
absolutely.
and Aaron Rodgers doing the Step Brothers.
Blues
Oh
Brothers.
my! We
Like
gotta make. You gotta make that graphic when we get the live stream going. We need that graphic immediately, so
Okay.
people who listen to the first episode will know
Gotta,
what we're talking about.
gotta get Shimp graphics on that
I
ASAP.
love it. Yeah, get Shimp graphics, please. That'd be big time. All right.
He should call in for one of these shows.
I have this idea. Open up the phone lines. But I'm not gonna buy a phone like for the phone lines. My friends just have my phone number. They can call in and share their takes on my podcast,
That's funny.
which I thought was a great idea.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. You've given me your 3 names. So.
I think the most likely he goes to Vegas.
Okay.
I could absolutely see him in Vegas. I don't know if he'd live in Vegas though. He'd probably live in California and fly in for the games because who wants to live in Vegas?
But Vegas is it's
It's disgusting.
it's increasing in population, man.
But it's gross.
That's your opinion.
You
a lot
can
of
fall on the concrete, scrape your knee, and you're probably gonna get an STD.
a lot of people like Vegas. You've never been to Vegas. How are you gonna be saying that you're gonna scrape your
Well,
knee? and
I've
get
driven
STD?
through it, gotten out, and it looks nasty.
When did we get out in Vegas?
Towards the racetrack.
What racetrack? I was asleep when we
Yeah,
went
you
through
were
Vegas.
asleep. You don't know what you're talking about.
No.
All right. Well, let's move on from scraping your knees and getting STDs in Las Vegas to another sport, baseball, my personal favorite sport.
And something I actually know about.
Something Benny actually knows about.
Let's go.
Let's go. Off season has been going on. Most everyone important has been signed to a new team. How you feeling, Benny? Way too early World Series predictions. Who you got going to the dance?
Something I want to say real quickly before I talk about my World Series predictions is that 2 players that I'm surprised that have not been signed yet, Luke Voigt and Andrew Chafin. Those people are not signed yet.
That is surprising. Where do you want to see them go?
I want to see Luke Voigt on. Wait, I was just thinking about this. He'd be good on the Marlins.
I was gonna say Miami because the way he wears his jersey.
He's just like a
He's a Miami guy.
Miami guy.
Chest hair out, chain out, unbuttoned down to his belly button.
Yeah, like he's like
Yeah, 100%.
that's like the epitome of Miami.
Literally was the same exact team in my mind.
Like you can't be playing for Washington and look like that.
No,
That's why he's not re-signed by them.
exactly. He doesn't look political at all.
No. You got to be I feel like you got to have a clean uniform when you're playing in
Neither does
Washington.
Andrew Chafin though. Neither of these guys.
Andrew Chafin is going to he should play for the Rangers
Yeah,
or the Astros.
yeah. Astros would be insane.
If he plays on the Astros, that's game over.
Yeah, and you hear his thing like where he like in the bullpen he eats a Twinkie before every relief appearance,
I didn't know that.
something like that. He eats a Twinkie at some point during a day of baseball. So
That's funny.
that's all I remember. And he's such a. I mean, you just look at that guy. You could see him eating a Twinkie, can't you?
There's MLB Fitz account on Instagram.
Yeah, you see his shirt,
He's like cowboy all day every day.
and he wears that shirt that says "failed starter."
Yeah.
It's funny. He's a great lefty. Every team can use a good lefty coming out of the bullpen. Not a single team can't benefit from a good lefty out of the bullpen.
Sub 3 ERA.
Yeah, not last year.
Yes. Check it. I was listening to John Boy and they were
Really?
talking about them recently.
Okay, well I trust John Boy. I love John Boy. Hey, John Boy Media, you hear this? Sign this podcast, please. I'd love that. You're my idol.
Okay, wait. So I think so.
Did he pull it together that well at the end of the year? I stopped watching the Tigers, so I knew he was doing much better. He started off horrible.
he
He
had
was
a
also injured for a while.
.3 WAR, 2 wins,
Oh, wow.
3 losses,
Okay.
a 2.83 ERA in 64 games, 3 saves, 57.1 innings pitched, 67 strikeouts, and
Wow.
a 1.169 WHIP. I don't know.
Pretty high whip.
I don't know what WHIP means.
Walks, hits, innings pitched. So like how many walks or hits you let up per inning. Like it's basically how many base runners do you allow per inning.
Got it.
So he's almost allowing 2 base runners per
But he
inning.
strikes out a lot of people.
Yeah, but does he walk a lot? Say the walk number again.
I didn't say the walk number. He walked 19 people in 2022
How many innings?
in 57 innings.
Okay. That's a decent amount actually. Yeah, that's got a lot of walks. But you say he struck out almost 70?
Yeah.
68?
Yeah. 67. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I like him. He's a
No, it's hard not to like
he's got
him.
good hair, good mustache.
And I like the Texas idea. Texas would yeah. I mean Rangers are trying to build something for next year. Get Andrew Chafin. Get
Exactly.
Luke Voigt while you're at it too. Platoon him and Nate Lowe.
There you go. Is Nate
That's
Lowe
a-
lefty?
Yeah.
There we go.
Nate Lowe rakes though. He would probably start every day. Luke Voigt coming off Luke Voigt could DH.
But my my World Series predictions, we got San Diego coming out of the National League.
Okay.
And then
Probably
we
not the big
have American League. I don't know. I feel like I don't watch a lot of the American League. I'm going to say I could be lame and say the Houston Astros, but I'm not
The
going to
right pick.
I'm not going to say the Houston Astros. I'm going to say another team in their division, but I'm not going to say the Seattle Mariners. I'm going to say
I know
the
you-
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Okay.
Let's go.
they
got to do it.
Well, they got Tyler. What,
They're going to be
did you see the news today? The Moreno family's not selling the team.
I
So
know.
That's
gonna-
horrible.
They're going to be a wild card team.
Mike Trout's gonna hit 5 million home runs in the playoffs.
Mike Trout will finally get his second chance in the playoffs after getting swept
by the Royals.
by the Royals. They were the best team in the league, and then they got swept. Mike Trout will get another chance. Ohtani will be a beast.
Oh, what a time before super teams were a thing when the best team in the league had 94 wins.
Ohtani will be a beast.
Of course. What's it? Give me his Ohtani's final pitching line of the season.
He's going to have 19 wins,
Oh my goodness.
4 losses,
Oh my God.
200 strikeouts,
Okay.
and a 2.47 ERA.
So you just said Ohtani's the Cy Young.
Yes.
Okay. I love it. I would love to see that happen. Do you think he hits 40 home runs?
No.
30s.
He'll hit 32.
Okay. 32 home runs. You heard it here first. Put a bet down on it.
I don't know. I don't know. They had a weird offseason. They still don't have good pitching.
Tyler Anderson's a good pickup. Maybe.
Oh, no. I forgot to do my research. I had a whole segment that I wanted to do about pitchers that were playing on the Dodgers that were bad before they went to the Dodgers and then were really good on the Dodgers, and then what happened after they left the Dodgers, if they left the Dodgers. But I never did
I
that
love that segment. Get it ready. Prep it for next episode.
because, they got Kenta Maeda, Hyunjin Ryu, I don't know. Those are two guys that come to my memory
those are two
recently
pop off
that were
for
so
sure.
good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they went to other teams that weren't the Dodgers, and they were pretty bad.
Stink.
Yeah. But then they also were. I don't. I'll have to. Well, for the next episode.
That's a great idea for an episode, Benny. I love it.
What are your World Series predictions?
National League. Give me the Phillies again.
Okay.
Returning Trey Turner addition is huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just ridiculous to add that guy to your team.
But you know what else is ridiculous? To add Xander Bogaerts to your team.
Yeah, but I like the Phillies again. I think Bryce Harper is unbelievable.
I think Juan Soto will be better than he was last year.
Do you think he'll be better than Bryce Harper?
Yes.
Okay.
Hitting wise,
Okay. Bryce Harper, I don't think he's going to play in the field next year.
really,
I think he'll DH the whole
because
time.
he's injured.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't play him in the field next year if I were them. Castellanos might actually play good again.
That's
he
true.
was terrible last
Forgot
year.
about Castellanos, man. He's a really good player.
Yeah, he was terrible last year. If he gets hot, watch out. And then American League. I could be fun and take my flyer and say Cleveland Guardians, but I'm not going to do that.
I feel like the Angels have a better chance of making the World Series than the Cleveland Guardians
I agree
do.
with you on that one. American League. Give me. I'm going to go AL West too and say the Seattle Mariners.
Okay, I like that too. You can't go wrong there.
I think they did a really good job fixing what they needed in the offseason. That Teoscar Hernandez addition
Mm-hmm.
is great. It's going to be great for them. And
And they have really good young pitchers.
They
That
have
will
really
probably
good-
be better.
that guy Munoz out of the bullpen, he might not allow a single earned run all year.
Except in the playoffs when they face the Houston Astros.
And Yordan Alvarez is a 3-run home run
Exactly.
to win a game again. Yordan Alvarez is unbelievable.
What do you? What's a team like the Baltimore Orioles that nobody expected to be good last year, but then they end up being kind of good? They don't have to like make the playoffs.
So who's the Baltimore Orioles of this year?
Yeah.
I would say Cubs, but they added too much to be that. Like, they're going to be expected to finish around 80-something wins, I'd expect. I was just thinking about this the other day. Sneaky, maybe Pirates with Andrew McCutchen coming back.
Ooh, I like that. I like
and
the
Andrew
Pirates.
McCutchen hits 30 home runs and leads them to like
I
a
like the
70, 80
Pirates.
win season. Brian Anderson, out of spite, hits 40 home runs. Something like that.
Brian Anderson's on the
Pirates.
Pirates now.
He's always been on the Pirates.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking.
I mean,
of
Brian Reynolds. Brian
Yeah.
Reynolds. I'm sorry.
Brian Anderson's the guy.
Misspoke.
He was on Miami, but then he got traded somewhere.
He's on Boston now.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, their pitching's not good enough to do that.
Do they have any pitching prospects?
Yes, but none that are MLB ready yet. I'd go maybe Tigers could do that if Torkelson has a rejuvenation and Riley Green
Mm-hmm.
does anything close to what he did last year. People could do what they expected to do last year this year,
Mm-hmm.
even though people are going to probably predict them around 60, 70 wins this year because they didn't really add anything at all when people wanted them to.
Yeah.
I'd say Pirates or Tigers would be my pick.
Pirates or Tigers? Okay.
I just really love the Andrew McCutchen signing. It made me so happy.
That was good. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe trying to think of other teams. I don't know. Yeah, I like those two teams. Maybe the Royals too.
Yeah, but they have nothing. The Royals genuinely have nothing.
That is true.
Like, there's not a single player that you can name on the Royals.
Vinny Pasquantino.
Okay.
MJ.
MJ Melendez. Okay, we named two.
Let's
Are you shout out Royals fans that if anyone listens to this podcast,
I hope one of them is a Royals fan and they're very happy.
yes. All right. I think that's going to wrap up episode 1, Ben.
Well, there we go. I think we did a good job.
I agree. And more to come. We'll be live. You'll be seeing us sitting in our living room with a red background on our 2 nice comfy chairs. Or actually 1 comfy chair. You're not in a very comfortable chair at the moment.
I like this chair.
You do?
I do.
I could live without it.
I don't like that chair.
Really?
Well, look at that. We're in the 2
Look at
perfect
that.
chairs for the 2 different types of people that we are.
And when we get the live stream going, you'll see what chairs we are talking about.
That's right. We could do a chair breakdown.
We could do a chair breakdown. We could give the reasons why we like these chairs, even though everyone would hate that. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for listening to this episode. Once again, I'm Teddy Briggs. This has been Ted's Ball Talk. More to come. Hopefully this blows up. I'll see you all next time.